Okay. A fantastic little plate today. And today I wanted a bit more plane in the sky. Boats are looking great right now. And the lighting here, weirdly enough, with the rain we've got coming down, you can see these different tones of blacks. Now you can't see those on all angles. On some angles, these blacks become completely flat, and on other ones, like right now, get that dual effect. So that's fun. Now, in the sky, we've got some yellow, and we've got a little bit of magenta. Splice those two together, you get a lovely, lovely orange, a teeny bit of black, just to actually combine into a white, so we get that grey tone, kind of creeping into that mark between the blue and the red. And then, I need a little bit of white, and we'll be away. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You can go with us. Why do birds suddenly appear? Look, I've got some lighter yellow as well. We'll add some of this in, but I really don't think it's... We'll use a teeny bit of it. Just a teeny tiny bit. Hey, welcome on in, everyone. So, rain's hammering down today. I had plans to go down to the lakeside. You can hear the water from here. And I thought, it'll be nice, right down there by the lake. Listen to the little soft waves, call them waves, crashing on the shore there. And, but anyway, instead, it was just too wet. So, we went for a swim instead, and now I've come under here. I've got this lovely shelter and the shirt to match. And we'll paint under the shelter, which I think will be quite fun. Alright, there we go. Out you come. Bunch of white. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm just going to add just a teeny tiny bit of this. We've been doing a lot of, just a teeny tiny bit of this. We've been doing a lot of quite thick work with the more opaque pigments. That stuff is going to make it a little more glossy, a little more transparent. And that opaque pigments, that stuff is going to make it a little more glossy, a little more transparent. And that is of acrylic polymers. Now, why are we splicing pigments with polymers? Well, it allows the paint to set so we can layer aggressively, while also meaning that the layer is set so we can paint aggressively, while also keeping that high pigmentation of those gouache paints that are so well known for. There we go. We're teed up. Here's our messy palette. I haven't quite decided whether we're going to aim more towards the small brush, etching strokes, or if the large brush will capture better. We'll start with the small, we can go bigger later. We'll see how it feels. That will be the plan. Alright. The light reflections on the water. Oh, I thought for a second that you meant out in the lake, because the lake behind us is looking absolutely phenomenal, but it's too wet. The lake behind us is looking absolutely phenomenal, but it's too wet out there. I love it when you talk about what you're doing with your art. Oh, thanks, Bill. Yeah, I try and do it when I can. I always get caught up inside the work and can't help but to lose my trail of thought. But when, for a period, I can maintain a trail of thought, I'll absolutely tell you what's happening. One of the big things about the sky too, you can see it in the picture here, it's a really smooth gradient from the skyline and up. But one thing we want to do is still from a distance have that smooth gradient, but up close have tiny little immense pockets of subtle detail. And that's why we're in the big area with a small brush. That's what's happening there. Big area, small brush, and we're just gonna play. Just gonna play. That's what's happening there. Big area, small brush, and we're just gonna play. Just gonna play. Here we go. In there. Subtlety. There's beauty in a little bit of subtlety. The way you add that paint, that kind of build that sky up gradually. There we go. Why do birds suddenly appear any time of the year? Closer to you. Through here as well. Beautiful. Just caress down. This darker spot here, this is actually, in time, going to become the sun. But for now, a dot. It'll be totally fine. Bit more yellow, powerful yellow. Mix it in here. Here we go. Just gonna sneak up through here. A little bit more magenta through there. We might even get a little bit naughty here and add just a teeny tiny bit, if I have it here, teeny tiny bit of red. Quite a thick, bold red if I've got one. I do indeed. Naphthol Crimson. It's not an oil painting. It's actually got more saturation than an oil painting, wildly enough. Usually you go to oils for their saturation, but these have bigger, more intense pigments than oil paintings. So it's not acrylics. Acrylics are similar to oils in that sense. This is acrylic gouache. So it's the flow of oils or acrylics, similar flow, but completely turned over with an intensity of pigment that's kind of unparalleled across the mediums. The application of it's a little bit more on the opaque side, which is nice, but being on the opaque side, you don't get that same level of sheen, gloss and shine. So if you want to bring that back into it, you definitely can. But what you need to do is with your final coats or with the finishing varnish, add that gloss in. But through the process, you get this intense saturation of pigment, which I actually enjoy more. I like it intense and saturated while you're working on it. Why do birds suddenly appear anytime? Oh, almost dropped the brush, but we kept it. How long did it take? Okay, so we're on, you'd need to go through the previous lives. I think we're on about layer 5 or 6. 3 or 4. I'm losing count. A lot of smaller layers building up as we slowly actually turn what looks like quite a similar work into more depth up close, especially down here in the reflections. When you get close to it, even if you can't see perfect water from a close point, you need to be able to get the feeling of wild, kind of alluring paint. If it doesn't draw you in when you get closer, not because of the image, but because of how fun the medium is, a painting can lose something a little bit special. You see, if you can see it from a distance, say from 20 feet away, the picture makes sense. That's a beautiful thing. Love that to bits. But when you get close to it, like here, it's got to give you something new, not more detail and more picture. That's not novel, that's not special. It's got to give you pockets or exaggerated moments in these little areas that really kind of create this balance between the clarity of reality and the chaos of art. But from 20 feet away, when you're sitting there from across the room and you gaze at it, the whole picture should, in harmony, come together. So that's what we're after. But at the moment, we're up close, slashing around some paint and seeing if we can't get a bit more of this beautiful, beautiful, warm orange sunset to take place here. There we go. We go right the way over the top. And see, I'm adding a little bit of yellow through there, because just at the top left, it just turns a wee bit more yellow before creeping back down here into these orangey tones. But it doesn't just go on one smooth gradient. It chops and changes. Even though there's very, very few clouds in the sky, it does go between that more creamy peach tone into a titanium buff, back to the orange, then back up to the yellows. You just need to spot one little moment at a time. The worst thing, the biggest injustice we could do to this picture is to just do a big flat gradient sky. There's more to it, there's more energy, there's more life, there's more brewing that's occurring. You can still have peace, but have this multiple layered outcome. Hey Steve, welcome on in. And the water in this painting is just beautiful. Thank you so much. It's I think this style lends itself really, really well to water. A couple of good examples is the reflections in Zambezi River, Mahalo, this one. Whenever we do reflections and actually have that effect in the water, it really suits a more impressionist, abstract element in it. Love the colours. Painting looks like sunshine on a lovely day. It's a Hong Kong sunset, and the colours in the photo have got so immensely warm. That's where some of the beautiful pop here is coming from. I wonder if I can do I have a little... Oh, yes! I got so caught up with the painting that I forgot old Shelby made me a delightful cup of coffee. Talk about lucky guy, right? There we go. I'll put that one down there. Now, I've added a bit of a titanium buff through it, only a teeny tiny bit of the magenta and a teeny tiny bit of our orange. So it's still titanium buff, and it's staying on the pale side of a Naples yellow. And then we're going to play with it through here and get quite obnoxious where we add it. This is the colour that we want in the water. And I always say this, and I mean this, for those who are artists out there, don't do sky and landscape or sky and water. Otherwise the colours won't have this cohesion or this match. To really get sky and water, to get that beauty, so you can see like the pairing. In this case here, the water, the only colour in the water is reflected from the sky, and so if you do them separately, you won't have that synonymous relationship between the colour palette. So you have to work on the sky and the water, or sky and reflection, simultaneously. Otherwise, to the wind. Who's that there? Is that Bahish? Bahish, correct me if I pronounced that wrong there. But I'm glad you love this. And we can actually get down these little pockets here and have a little bit of fun. You see that yellowy colour? It's just going to come straight down there. You don't want to... there's two ways to look at a reflection. One way is it draws you in and you try and really see the details in the water. And the other way is you admire it while pulling back a little bit and actually admire it in relationship with the reflection that it's getting from the sky. But it depends. It depends. Hey Jojo, Jeffrey. Oh Jeff, absolute pleasure to have you in here. Jeff, this one here is going to Hong Kong. So for those who remember, the previous one we were working on was a work of Pennsylvania, which we labeled the valley I call home. The reason why we called it that is on one front, it's home. On the other front, the residents in the area call that area around Sugarloaf the valley. Beautiful, beautiful name. Love that piece to bits. And it's currently on its way to Pennsylvania. And now, this area here, this is a place where Ross goes with his two dogs and they swim in the water down here. And I Googled it finally, the definition of skyline, and this does match. I thought skylines might just be for high rises in cities and skyscrapers across a horizon line. Turns out it works for any line that there's a sky, in. So this line is basically just expensive yachts with traditional boats in the foreground. So that by itself means that this is a skyline. I didn't realize the definition was that vague, but once I now understand it like that, kind of makes perfect sense. But I thought skyline might be reserved just for buildings. That's what I was getting to there. I hope you and your wife and baby have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year's. Well, thank you very much. I hope you, your loved ones and your family, hope everyone has an amazing Christmas as well. And everyone else here in the room right now. Guys, this is a special time of year. I don't care if you celebrate Christmas or not, whether it's a big deal in your family or not, whether you go away or you stay home. For me, I feel the important thing is that everyone around the world simultaneously get on board with the concept or the idea that we're all having between years just a little bit of a reset. Imagine if we didn't do that. We just rolled through time, days and months, and we never actually allocated 12 months to a unit to say this is a year. I'm not saying that New Year's resolutions matter and we should change year to year. No, but it's nice to recap a year and actually be able to celebrate that year with friends and family, or just with ourselves to say that, okay, this year, this happened. Next year, I want to do more of this. I want to do less of that. It doesn't mean you need to create these large, lofty, behemoth goals that will control your coming year and intimidate you, create anxiety, and ultimately depress you if you don't quite make them. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with just marking a moment in a journey. I like that we all mark that same moment together. And if you did have goals that you set in, what would it be, 2023, as the Christmas and New Year period rolled over, and you got close to them, you smashed them, or better still, you just tried to go for them, then congratulations. But if you're setting goals now, I just want to get as much time with my daughter as possible. I want to keep growing as an artist. I want to meet new people. I want to connect with more people. I want to make sure Shelby's as happy as she can be. I want to make my dad proud. I want to make my mum proud. And I want Cooper to be as happy as she can be. I want to see more of my brothers. Now I'm just getting greedy, aren't I? But, yeah. Sanders like looking at my list being like, okay, choose 3. Oh dear. Choose 3. That's pretty, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh my god, so artistic. Is that Lao or is that Thai? Are you coming to us from Thailand or Laos? Or somewhere else? I think that's Thai. So you must be coming to us from Thailand, right? Or you just have a really cool Thai username. And you actually are coming to us from France. I'm not sure how many Thai people are in France. There's a lot of Thai people in New Zealand. We're very lucky with that. Thai and Lao. In Rotorua, many Thai and Lao. Amazing people. From Thailand, how do you know? The username. I've got a very close person in my life. I call her my sister, and she's from Laos. And so I see a lot of Lao and Thai text. So I can't read it, but I can recognize it. And when we go driving places, we try and sometimes she tries to teach me a few words. Like, I forget, baisai, baisu, left, right, go forward. And actually, sometimes when we both have the patience for it, she tries to teach me navigation, but only in Lao. And she speaks both, Lao and Thai. I should specify for anyone else here, Lao and Thai are 2 completely different languages. Not completely different, but they share similarities, but they're different languages. So Noise, or Fet Noi, Loshiana, her first language is Lao. She speaks a bit of Thai, and then she speaks English. You sort of have to get the English when you come across to New Zealand. It's hard coming into New Zealand. Well, it's hard to get things like residencies or visas if you don't pass English tests. So that is what that is. But Noise English is incredibly good. Incredibly good. You always, if you're not born in New Zealand, you don't get the syntax, which is the way you combine the words to flow nicely. You always kind of never fully nail the language, but actually, in all honesty, that just turns the language into your own unique spin, which in some ways is better. Like, for example, English speakers, the best kind of English speaking is when you get English with a Spanish accent, or English with a French accent, or English with a Southern or Australian accent. Raw English, if there is such a thing, isn't actually what we're after. We love your basic language with a flick of like something on it. So English with a flick of Lao, kind of cool. Kind of cool. We always talk about that, like Spanish, Spanish is the language of love. No, I'd love to learn Spanish. No. What you really want, rather than speaking Spanish, is you want you want to speak English with a Spanish accent. That's the sweet spot. But I think actually as a language, like when you listen to someone speaking Spanish, slow Spanish, it's the best. It's the best. Like, not objectively, but for me, I hear slow Spanish. It's my favourite. French is okay. Love a bit of French too, but slow Spanish hits you in ways that other languages just simply can't. I love you in a Spanish accent. Well, that's got some gravity, right? That's believable. You hear I love you in a, I don't know, a regular New Zealand accent, it doesn't sound as true as I love you. We're not by the beach, we're by a lake at the moment, and because it's raining unplanned, well, unrealized. It was going to rain, well, depending on your philosophy, for all eternity. But because I woke up this morning, it was 30% chance of rain last night, to the best of my knowledge. So I thought we'd get out there, but as it's transpired, and I don't mind, we're underneath the cover today, which is working. Hola Seb, ¿cómo estás? Bueno, but poquito. Yo hablo español poquito. Las pingüinos, poquito. Yo hablo español poquito. Las pingüinos, agua, altura, which is not correct, but water high, which is broken English for rain. ¿Qué bien español hablas? I don't look, a little bit of Duolingo, not enough to be here. Alex is like, I see you. Is it cold rain? You look pretty warm. Look, it's actually good. If the sun came out now, it would get really muggy. So it's the right temperature right now. I like it. I like it a lot. How's the allergies today, Seb? Hope you're better. Sounds like you're better. Yeah, Steve, so much better. So it was terrible. The worst, it's like the second worst time I've ever had hay fever was yesterday. It was unbelievable. So we came out here to, like, literally an hour away from the house to somewhere where we could actually get away from the long grass. I'm half convinced, guys, it was the long grass yesterday. I think that's what's caused our headaches to occur. But in the same breath, there has been a little bit of hay fever around here, though I would suspect, team, that it's not due to the grass here. It's more due to the dust in the house. So I think that's playing a role in what's happening here. The dust in the house. But I will say this though, the rain, actually, here I am complaining about it a little bit. It's actually the game changer, because the rain is what's dampening any pollen in the air, which has allowed me to actually talk properly and not all nasally because my nose is blocked. Otherwise, I'd sound like this the whole time when I'm speaking. And although this is okay, you do get a little bit tired of this 3 hours into a live. So it's interesting to see how much of your nose you actually use when you do talk. You always think the mouth's doing most of the work, but the nose is playing quite a role. All right, let's get a bit more of this. There we go. No! Without the picture, how will we paint? I'm serious, Mimi. I'm talking to you. Let's just tack this on down here while we dabble with that sky. You gonna stay there for me? you might do. Just put a little bit more tape there. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, we're good. We're in a good shape. Good shape. All right, Mark, you're a fan. Well, Mark, I'm glad you're here, you absolute champion. Birdie, welcome on in, Birdie. Have you been making more paintings and commissions lately, Birdie? Honestly. Un desastre. How will I address this and fix it? I have an idea. Up. Just like that. We're going to get this here, just like this. I'm going to feed that through there. Now, it's a pity because this is actually the area that I want to be painting, but all is fair in the wind of the moment. It's perfect, so we can't paint just there, but we can work on the sides, and like I said, the reflections need love. Yes, I have. I've had some small commissions this Christmas as Christmas gifts. That's fun. Birdie, look at you go. Getting some Christmas gifts done. It is the season for it. I saw a lot of posts coming up on social media with people saying, buy art this Christmas, blah, 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 which is obviously a good narrative to run if you're an artist. Hey guys, I've got a great idea. We should all buy art this Christmas. Sure, Seb. But at the same time, we did do something new with a friend group, which was a secret Santa, but you had to make the present. G'day, Jay. You had to make the present. Now, so everyone came in with something that they'd made. Now, I didn't actually paint anything, although everyone was expecting it, because I thought everyone's expecting it, so it's less... You know what I mean? It's not a secret Santa if everyone knows Seb's bringing a painting. So it's less... You know what I mean? It's not a secret Santa if everyone knows Seb's bringing a painting. So anyway, I printed out a 3D chicken and then gave it with some beef jerky. Oh, and a poem. So a 3D printed chicken, some beef jerky, and then a poem that explained how a chicken that was 3D printed came into possession of some beef jerky. Woo! Hello, rain. Let's sneak under the shelter a little bit more. Bring you over here. Homemade gifts are the best. Homemade gifts are pretty good. They are pretty good. But some people had such creative ideas, so everyone came to the table with their own kind of creative thing. And I personally thought that was a really, really fun thing to do. I personally thought that was a really, really fun thing to do. It was... That rain's trying to get us. It's doing its best to. I'll tell you what though, guys. I've got a solution. Woohoo! Listen to that rain coming down. It's all on here. Woohoo! Listen to that rain coming down. It's all on here. Well, come on back, guys. This weather's about to get hectic. Cheers, team.